Hello and welcome everybody to my very first City Skylines build for YouTube. I've been playing this game since last year, right around the time that Sunset Harbor came out, and I have enjoyed it ever since. I grew up playing SimCity, and moving to this game, it was a no-brainer, honestly. I think like the amount of control you have over your cities, over your towns, over everything is just awesome. And so today we're going to be doing one of the vanilla maps. I do have a few mods that I'm using. The most important mod of which that I'm using is the realistic population mod. So what the realistic population mod does is it completely changes how many people live in like the single family homes, how many people work in like the commercial and office buildings. You have to have a much higher population to even have office. Industry is still roughly, I wouldn't say it's about the same, but the game feels so much more realistic with this mod enabled, and that's a lot of like what this build is going to be centered around. We do have quite a few opportunities for forestry, farming, mining in this town, and I'm gonna try and make my way towards the river in the very beginning of the build. So we'll see here that we're just left with like a little 1x1 tile to start out with. We have a small kind of river over here that we can extract some water from. Looks like it's flowing this way, so I'm gonna want to make sure my water pumps are over here. And if I have any sewage outlets, I'm gonna want them over here, downstream or upstream. I don't know the difference, honestly. You just want it to, like, the sewage to not flow into your water supply, or else all of your citizens will get sick. So let's go ahead and get started. Very first thing that I'm going to do is you have to build a road to start out, so that's what I'm gonna do here. Next, I'm just going to go ahead and place my first water pump here. Oh, I'm also using Move It. Or no, I'm not. The Traffic Manager mod, and I also have like the City Vitals mod enabled. That this one's pretty helpful because it just kind of like at a glance I can see like how much electricity I need, how much water, how much sewage, etc. that I need. I feel like I'm trying to think of like how I want to lay the city out. I feel like naturally this is going to turn into like an arterial that's just going to cut straight through here. Like basically like a highway, and maybe even go up and ooh, this is cool. It's cool looking. Kind of want to keep this. But yeah, we're gonna kind of snake this main highway up along the river here to start out, and then I also want to maybe have like an interchange later that goes this way towards this lagoon here. I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do with this yet. I might turn this into like a national park. I think would be really cool, just to have like this lake here. I also need to pause it because I'm losing money from this. Just keeping like the everything exposed. But then I also think that I want to also possibly have just the arterial run from here all the way down to here to start out. And we'll have a nice like downtown area, just kind of like along this riverfront. Now, I don't want this to be the main downtown area. I think for that, I want to go, we're kind of confined like in here, in this area. I really like this map, honestly. But I think for like the main downtown area, I kind of want to have it, actually, I think this would be a good spot for it. Because it's all like, we can keep it all confined within like this one island. And maybe have like some industry or something here, some industry over here, maybe like an airport right here would be good. And maybe they can like come in through here, I think would be least dangerous so that airplanes aren't like flying into these hills. I think this would be like the most logical spot for an airport right here. So that's what I want to do with this. Airport here, and then I don't know if I have any cargo capabilities that are going to be able to go through this, but we will see. So I'm just kind of planning things out as I go, honestly. We do have rail, luckily. We're going to have to unlock this tile in order to get access to rail, it looks like. I think. Yeah, it should reach over. It comes like right over here and snakes around. I think I'm going to want to change that because I don't want this rail line to go through my downtown necessarily. I think I would rather have it go in here, like before it. And so yeah, I definitely want to change that to where the rail line goes this way instead of all the way to the river. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So I placed my water intake. I'm gonna go ahead and do what I normally do. So what we're gonna do here is just kind of, walk to the grid here. So this is gonna be my main road starting. And I kind of want to turn it, I want to immediately turn it this way towards the river. I just want to get a town going that's like close to the river because I feel like that would be the most logical place for a town to start in general, is like close to a water supply, especially if it's like already really close to one. So we're gonna have to have some one-ways going this way. Do the same this way. So I want to delete that because I don't want people like doing a U-turn here. Oops, that needs to be, yeah, there we go. Make sure these are all going in the same direction. I also don't want people to be able to turn left here. I want them to be able to just go straight into the city. And so we're going to make sure nobody can turn left here. And you'll just have to go I guess straight. Yeah. For some reason the arrows are pointing like to the right, but that's okay. I'm also going to go ahead and upgrade this road. We want a few extra lanes, at least like in the beginning here. Like right before I make my industry. So yeah, I think naturally this highway, I would want it to be along here. So that's what I'm gonna do. Starting out. Oops, that wrong one. Just keep this one kind of straight here. Topography looks relatively flat, so that looks good. And then we'll go ahead and get started zoning some like areas for like people to live. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this road and I'm going to turn it into just a regular 2-lane. Don't want to take out too many trees here. I want to make sure we respect the topology and everything. Luckily this looks pretty flat, and so I'm not really going to have to snake this road around, at least in the beginning. And it looks like pretty much all of this is flat except for like these mountainous regions. In fact, it seems a little unrealistic. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna put in dirt roads because the maintenance cost is so much less than like the main ones. And I'm gonna do a kind of just to start out, I want to do a 10 by 15 sized grid. And the reason I did 11 on this is because you'll see that like these squares are like where you can zone your houses, your commercial, your industrial warehouses and everything. And so when I upgrade this road, here I'll show you now. In fact, I'll just go ahead and upgrade this now. See, when I upgrade this road, it fills in like that gap. And so that's why I wanted 11 on that first, like 11 spaces on this first one. And I don't know how much one space is, like in feet or meters or anything. But I know that someone said that, I think they said 2,000 spaces or 200 spaces is 1 mile. So I guess divide 5,280 by 200, and you'll get like the amount of feet each one is. So I'm just gonna do like a basic grid here. This is where people are gonna live. Actually, hold on. Let me rethink this because actually I think this will be okay starting out. No, okay. I think I'm gonna change how I want this. Instead, because this is going to turn like into a highway. I know I just did all this. This is gonna turn into like a highway eventually. And so what I want to do instead is I want to get roads to come off of here like this. And then I want to zone my houses and everything off of this. So we'll just do 11 units by 15. And I'm trying not to make like too many intersections. And so that's why I want like the larger part to be like on like these larger gaps in the grid to be on on like I'm sorry, on like this main portion here. So we'll go 15 units. I'm also using a mod called Precision Engineering, and this one it gives me like this little overlay for, oh, that is bumpy. Okay. I feel like it feels pointless to just kind of have this collector here, but we're gonna go ahead and go this way too. And I try not to keep, I don't want like my first intersection to be like super close to the highway. I'm probably gonna end up putting a roundabout in here eventually, and I want to also kind of make another road that comes off of this, but I just don't think it's necessary right now. So I'm gonna come up, how many units is this? 46, we'll do 14 more units so that I can get an even like 60. Yeah, there we go. And I'll go ahead and have another road come off of here. Another, let's see. Let's just try 50 here. And I'm going to extend this just a little bit more. We'll go 30 units. I don't know if I can keep doing that. Here. And this is how cities, kind of like in real life, you want to think about what's known as like roadway hierarchy. And essentially, you need to think about whether you're trying to prioritize mobility or you're trying to prioritize access. So for instance, this interstate is prioritizing mobility. You just want to get from point A to point B. And that's why you don't see like houses or businesses like right on the interstate. And kind of the same thing goes for like highways. This is going to turn into a highway. Now I'm going to have like businesses and stuff on here, but I don't think I want houses along this. I would like houses along this street though. And here I'm prioritizing both mobility and access, and I'm doing the same thing over here too. You just kind of want to pick your battles, honestly. So we got 19 units. That's okay. We'll have a nice little break in the grid here. Actually, let's go up just a little bit more here. Just need to go up 2. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay. Excellent. Nice. We'll stop that there. Now I want these roads to extend. I want these like more important roads to extend this way. But we're also gonna have. I guess like when I put the roundabout in, which I might put it in here. I want another one to extend all the way out this way and another one out this way. And we are going to have more access from the interstate eventually, because this interchange is going to be carrying basically like the entire city is going to be funneling in through this interchange, and that's not going to work. So I think what I'm going to do in addition is maybe put another interchange here that just kind of goes through like downtown so that people can get, and not like right through it, but maybe like have something where people can just like get on the interstate. If they want to go right downtown, they can access it here, as opposed to like this interchange being the only point of access into the city. There is quite a few reasons why you would want to do that. One of the main reasons is that if there's like an emergency or something and there's only one way to get in or out of the city, you're going to run into problems. You need multiple ways in so that people can leave in the case of an emergency, but it also in the same, but kind of by the same token, if you, it just causes a lot of traffic because there's like only one way to get in and out. Everybody's going to be using that way, if that makes sense. So you just kind of want to have like multiple ways in and out of a city for safety's sake, but also for just making sure that like everything is a-okay. Okay, so I think this is a pretty decently sized grid. I want to keep my, I think I want to put my industry over here, like right in here. We're going to make this 30 more units. 30 more units. Actually, no, 31 more units. So I just need 11 here. Turn that into just like a road, because I'm going to upgrade this to a 2-lane. I just don't need a 2-lane right now, just for like cost sake. And this is where my industry is going to be, at least in like the beginning. So we'll just add this in here. Excellent. So we need electricity. This is not the 1700s. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to just start out with a. Actually, no. I'm gonna start out with a wind turbine. And I want to put that right next to my thingy, my water pump. And I'm gonna have an electric line just kind of snake through here. I hate how these electric lines look. I wish we could get like smaller ones. In fact, I know there's one like on the Steam Workshop that I'll prop, but I don't want to use a whole lot of like community made assets for this. I kind of want to just keep this as vanilla as possible, which I know I am using a couple mods, but it's not anything that's too game changing. It's mostly just kind of utilitarian stuff. So let's go ahead and zone in here. We're gonna put in a little bit of industry, but what we mainly need are homes, and so I'm just gonna go ahead and zone a lot of homes. I think that'll do for now. I'm just gonna kind of see where things go. I want all of these to be residential. So people will be able to come into the city here. They'll get off of this highway here, and then they can just kind of like drive to their houses where they need to be. Okay, next we need water pipes. So I'm just gonna take a water pipe through here. Now this, in the game at least, it doesn't matter necessarily. You can put your water pipes wherever. However, in real life, you want your water, at least to just kind of like keep it realistic, water mains need to go underneath roads. And the reason why is because if there's a water main break or anything of the sort, and it's underneath a house, they're gonna have to demolish the house in order to get to that water main. And that's just not gonna happen. At least in like the United States, it would be like an expensive and long process just to get, just to like, you know, eminent domain and everything. It doesn't really happen overnight because, at least with like the United States eminent domain laws, are pretty comprehensive and some are like the strictest in the entire world. We're gonna put an inland water treatment plant instead of using like the water outlet. These cost, which actually, yeah, this costs less, but it creates a lot of pollution. Yeah, this costs less and has more drain capacity. And this one costs more and has less drain capacity, but it also has less pollution. So again, you just gotta kind of pick your battles. And kind of the same with this. I could go with this one that does less pollution, but since we're just now starting out, and this is really far away from any potential residential areas. Oh, I need to connect this to a water pipe. Also, okay. Yeah, so let's go ahead and play and see what we got. Now we have a ton of electricity available and water available right off the bat. Here, this should, yeah, there we go. That's way too, we have way too much. And so I'm just gonna go ahead and take this out of our budget. There we go. Excellent. So this should hopefully help me get in the green. And so what's going to happen next, for those of you who have, like, if you have played the game, great. I am happy to see you here, and I'm glad you've joined me. If you haven't played the game, also great, and I am happy to see you here, and I'm really glad that you've joined me. But kind of what happens is, like, when you zone, these green squares, what's going to happen is, like, I color these squares green, and then the homes are just going to kind of pop up. And they build themselves. And so here you can check like how many people are living in it. So it looks like they just built a home and nobody's moved in yet. This one, nobody's moved in yet. Again, nobody's moved in. So we're still at 0 population, but people will start moving in here pretty soon. Okay, so I turned the day-night cycle off, and we're just gonna be left with perpetual daytime. Okay, so we have a little bit of commercial demand now. I'm gonna put some in here. And kind of keep this close to the highway here. Commercial is a bit noisy, and so I try not to. Oh, here I broke my rule. Here, this is 7 wide. Oops. Let me put some here. Do we have water? Yes, we do. Okay. So, all right. So we had some people move in. Here we have 4 people living here. 7. Oh my God, 7 people in this one house. That's a lot. Even like the realistic population, it's a lot. Still nobody in this one. Here's like a little tiny house. That one's got 2 people living in it. Excellent. Yeah, I really like this. Okay, now we have some. Now we have some commercial businesses popping up. So what do we got here? This is gonna be a convenience store, another convenience store, a neighborhood shop. Okay, and then we have a little bit of industrial demand too, so that's good. Here's our industry. Now I try to keep my industry close to the highway and away from houses if possible. For one, they pollute, and another thing is like they physically bring in traffic and like big trucks and everything, delivering goods to the commercial industries and everything. So might have to just build a temporary power line here. All right, so I'm just gonna kind of go get laissez-faire with this, and we're going to let this build out for a minute. All right, and we are starting to make some money too. We have 213 people living here. I am gonna have to boost the electricity budget, it looks like, by just a little bit. So if you saw down here, my electricity was getting a little low. That's better. I have this one wind turbine that's working for us. We still have a little bit of residential demand, and I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just go ahead and put some water pipes under here. Oh, I never really finished my thought about the water mains earlier. Yeah, if you have a water main under a road and you have to do maintenance on it, it's not really anything to just dig the road up and work on that water main. Yeah, so as you can see, you have you have trucks physically coming in, and you don't want these trucks to really be in your residential areas. God, this is loud. So here it's unloading some cargo. So yeah, and let's just follow a car into town and see how this looks. And we'll just get the cinematic camera on and we'll take a drive. Alright, so this is what we have so far. The city of Peach Meadow. It's not really a whole lot here, but so what we've done in this episode is we've kind of started out like a basic grid and gotten a nice roadway hierarchical system going on in here. So I think in the next episode, what we're going to do is we're just going to expand our residential. We're probably going to expand this way, but we're also going to expand this way. We're also going to try and expand our industrial a little bit down here. And then we're going to try and unlock some milestones going forward too. So speaking of which, how far are we from the next milestone? Looks like, yeah, we're about 500 people away from the next milestone. I don't want this episode to go too long or anything, but let's go ahead and zone this. And I'll zone a little bit of commercial in here. Zone a little bit more industry. And I think I'll do some here too. Yeah, this is good. But anyway, thank you for joining. I will leave you with a quick tour of the city and just kind of of the region. And thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.